Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to Top Scholars. Today we'll be discussing about introduction to chemical changes. Now, during a chemical change, the chemical composition of the original matter changes and new substances are formed which have different properties, which simply means that during a chemical change, new substances are formed which have different composition and properties as that compared to the original matter. Also, friends, during a chemical change, the substance may undergo change in color, change in temperature. There may be bubbles which are produced, that is, gas may be evolved. Also, in some cases, you will observe formation of precipitate. But friends, how do we represent a chemical change? Yes, a chemical change is represented by using a chemical equation. Exactly. Now, friends, let's discuss about one of the examples of chemical change, that is darkening of a cut apple. Now, if you take an apple and cut it into two halves, and if you keep this apple for some time, you will notice that the apple starts turning brown. That is, you will notice the darkening of the apple, which means that there is a change in color, right? So this change in color actually indicates the chemical change. Let's take one more example to understand this, right? For example, rusting of iron, friends. Now, what is rusting of iron? Now, if you take some iron article and if this iron article is exposed to the atmosphere for a longer duration of time in the presence of moisture, what happens is this iron starts reacting with oxygen present in the air and results in the formation of a reddish-brown layer on its surface. This reddish-brown layer actually is nothing but rust, right? Which means that now your iron article has corroded, it has rusted. This rusting makes the iron article brittle, right? And now you cannot convert this rusted iron back into the original iron article, right? So this is an example of a chemical change which actually takes place in our everyday life. Let's take one more example. So here you can see I have a glass which is filled with lime juice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some baking soda into this lime juice, right? What do you observe? Oh, you will notice that there are some bubbles which are coming out, right? And what are these bubbles indicate? These bubbles indicate that there is some gas which is being evolved. So we can say that a chemical change involves evolution of gas, right? So in this case, since carbon dioxide gas is released, it indicates that there is a chemical change which is taking place. And this is an example of a neutralization reaction. And what is a neutralization reaction, friends? Yes, a neutralization reaction is a reaction between an acid and a base. So in this experiment, we have acid, that is citric acid, that is present in lime juice. And we took baking soda, which is nothing but sodium bicarbonate, which is a base. When we mix these two, it undergoes reaction, resulting in the formation of sodium citrate, which is a salt, along with the liberation of carbon dioxide gas. So the bubbles that you see over here, these are the bubbles of carbon dioxide gas, right? Since carbon dioxide gas is released. Now, friends, these chemical changes can be of two types, right? One of them is natural chemical changes. What are natural chemical changes? Let's take an example to understand this. That is respiration. Now, friends, what is respiration? Respiration is actually a process, that is a biological process which continuously takes place, wherein air is inhaled and carbon dioxide and water vapor are exhaled. Now, friends, during the process of respiration, what happens is oxygen reacts with glucose present in our cells, resulting in the formation of water along with carbon dioxide gas, right? So this is an example of a natural chemical change that takes place, that is respiration, right? Let's take one more example, that is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process which occurs in, yes, green plants in the presence of sunlight, right? What is the process of photosynthesis exactly? Yes, photosynthesis is the process by which green plants make use of carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight, and chlorophyll result in the formation of glucose, right? And release oxygen, right? So let's write down the general representation of a photosynthesis reaction. So we said that during photosynthesis, plants make use of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere in water, and in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, it gets converted into glucose and oxygen that is released, right? So photosynthesis is actually chemical change that actually takes place in nature, and so it is called as a natural chemical change. To learn more about this topic, download Toppscholars app.